Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. I want to tell you what happened to me tonight whilst I was out working. Happened around 7 o'clock. Hadn't gone dark, still daylight, and I'm heading off to the village of Old Colwyn, which means I'm driving down the A547, and I've just come round the corner, admittedly a little bit spiritedly, and I see a police car going the other way. He has a second look over his shoulder, dives into a lay-by, turns round and starts to follow me. But in front of me, going down the hill, is about 10 cars following a learner driver, and they're all doing around about the 20-mile-an-hour mark, which happens to be the speed limit. Police officers, 2 of them in the car. They're not traffic, the local bobbies in a Peugeot estate. Tag on behind me, and as I'm going down the hill, the learner driver keeps touching the brakes. And you know what happens when the first car touches its brakes? It follows up the line. So the next car touches his brakes, the next car touches his brakes, until it gets to the car in front of me that touches his brakes, but I don't. I'm watching my mirror and I can see the police car's lights through the car. I see his high level brake light come on. So I know he's watching me and he's watching the cars in front. I still have not touched my brakes because I've gone straight into B mode on my hybrid, which is engine braking, which is slows you down pretty quickly, if the truth be known. And then I've controlled my speed and my gap just by feathering the throttle. So if I want to go a little bit quicker, I just touch the throttle. If I come off the throttle, the car slows down. So I follow this queue of cars all the way to the bottom of the hill, past the Aldi's superstore, into the dip of the hill, up the other side, and I head off now towards the Marine Hotel, where the roundabout is, where there's 4 junctions off the roundabout. One goes down to the A55, one goes into Colwyn Bay, one goes up to the local high school, and I take the left, the first junction off the roundabout, which is Llanellian Road. And I still haven't touched my brakes, not once. I'm using the REGEN and B mode to control my speed, and I'm watching what's going on around me so I can see if there's anything coming up from the A55. Everything's clear, indicate, and I take the left hand junction off the roundabout. I'm followed by the police car, who doesn't indicate, by the way, he just follows me. Go up between all the parked cars, over the brow of the hill, past T Gwyn School, which is on my left. Then there's a big parking area where he puts his blues on. I know he's pulling me over because he's still following me. So there's no cars in the pull-in. So I thought, I know what he's stopping me for. He's going to tell me I've got no brake lights on my car. Now I'm down to 5 miles an hour now in the lay-by. So I start now using the handbrake button to stop the car, because you can, below 10 miles an hour, you can use the handbrake button to stop the car. So I stop the car on the handbrake and hold the button, and I hold the car there on the handbrake, still in drive, and I haven't touched the brakes, but the car's not going anywhere because I've activated the handbrake. One officer walks down the passenger side of my car and the other one walks to my window. So they're now both walking down the side of the car, where I quickly put my foot on the brakes, put it into park. I've seen the brake lights come on in my mirror, because you can see the high level brake light come up in the mirror, but they haven't seen the brake lights, because one's looking at my tyres, looking at the car, one is trying to get my attention through my window. So I crack the window about that far. I've also locked the car so they can't get in, because I'm not getting out the car, I'm staying in the car. And I get the usual spiel, good evening sir, how are you tonight? I'm very well, thank you. Is this your car, sir? Now that's not a good question to ask me, because you're going to get the same answer. No, I'm sorry, it's not my car. He takes a couple of seconds and he goes, whose car is it, sir? I says, I'm the registered keeper, legal owner. Takes him a couple of seconds again to register what I've said. He's not the quickest copper on the planet. He goes, I'll ask you again, sir, is this your car? No, it's not my car, I'm the registered keeper. Can you explain, he says. I says, it's quite simple. This car does not become my property until I make my final payment on the car. It belongs to a lease company. That's why I've told you it's not my car, I'm the registered keeper. He's now twigged what I've told him. Took him a couple of minutes, but it's good. I'm wasting his time. I know he's wasting mine as well, but I don't care. So he says to me then, he goes, do you know why we've stopped you? I says, no idea why you've stopped me. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing anything untoward. I wasn't driving dangerous. I says, I was just following that row of cars. Okay, he says, so you've got no idea why we've pulled you over? I says, I haven't got a clue. I don't know why you've pulled me over. I don't know what's flagged up on your system in your car. No idea. He goes, I've pulled you over to tell you your brake lights aren't working. So I said, oh, thank you very, very much for letting me know. Is that all you've got to say? He says. I says, what do you mean, is that all I've got to say? If my brake lights aren't working, my brake lights aren't working. But there might be a good reason why my brake lights aren't working. He goes, well, you know where we go from here, don't you? I says, what? He goes, I'm going to issue you with a ticket. And I need you to rectify the faults on your car and get your brake lights fixed. And once you've got them fixed, you need to go to either your dealer or an MOT station and get them to sign this ticket, which I'm now in the middle of writing, he says, to get the defect sorted out on your car. I says, all right. So I says, there. Do you know you're wasting your time? Totally wasting your time writing that ticket. He goes, and what does that mean? What that means is, have you not thought about this? Have you not thought that not once did I need to use my brakes to control my speed in all the time you've been following me? Do you not know what this car is? It's too late now, he says. I've written the ticket. I'm issuing you this ticket. I says, well, give me the ticket. But I'm telling you, you've wasted your time. I said, get your mate to stand behind the car now and tell me what happens when I put my foot on the brakes. So he goes, this copper goes around the back of the car now, and I put my foot on the brakes, and he lights up bright red, and he comes back and he goes, what's going on? I says, it's quite simple. Do you know what this car is? He goes, yeah, it's a Toyota Yaris. I says, have you checked? Have you PNC'd the car? He goes, yes, we have PNC'd the car. So I says, one, you know who owns it. Two, you know it's a 2023 car. So you know it's only just 12 months old. And three, you should know it's an alternative energy car. Does that not tell you something? Well, what does that mean to me, he says. I says, it's a hybrid, mate. I could drive away from here now. The engine won't start up. I'll drive away on the electric. We have something called our cars called regenerative brakes. If I take my foot off the throttle coming down the hill, the car will slow down, regenerate electric, use the regenerative part of the braking system, and it will slow down on its own. It doesn't illuminate the brake lights. They don't activate until I put my foot on the brakes. So what I'm trying to tell you is, for the entire time you were following me, up until I stopped here, not once did I need to touch my brakes. So I says, I've got the ticket. I'll go and get this signed off tomorrow at the MOT station. I'll put it back in the envelope you've just given me to send it back to you. You've just created yourself half an hour of paperwork. Are we done? Are we finished? Am I free to go? I drove away. I've wasted 15 minutes of this copper's time. Admittedly, he's wasted 15 minutes of my time. But I've had the satisfaction of giving him some work to do now. And also, maybe he'll think in his little pea brain, before he accuses somebody of having a problem with their car, of doing a little bit of research before he accuses somebody of having no brake lights, and realising hybrids and electric cars have got regenerative braking on them, and they slow down when you take your foot off the throttle. These people are supposed to be withholding the law, our beloved police force, are not very well educated. That's all I'm trying to say to you all. They're not educated people. All they're after is easy nicks, where they've got a guaranteed pull with a guaranteed fine, and it's not working with me because it isn't going to work with me. Because I did that on purpose. I knew when he saw me coming round the corner and he turned round, I knew what he was going to do. So that's why I played regen braking and B mode, so I didn't have to touch the brakes, because I knew it would initiate me getting stopped, because I absolutely love pissing the coppers off when I know I'm right. That's what happened to me tonight. So try it next time you're out and you know there's nothing wrong with your car and you fancy a bit of fun with the coppers. Use B, use your regen brakes and see if you can initiate a tug. Let them write the ticket and then show them your brake lights work and tell them you don't need to use your brakes to slow down. You can use the technology in your car. That's all you've got to tell them. But let them write the ticket first, because you're actually creating something for them to do now. He's actually going to earn some wages rather than create a fine. Maybe put points on a license, because that's what they really want. Piss them off. Use the technology you've got to your advantage to wind the bastards up. Thanks for watching.
Shut up and sit down.